Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Second Commander. Okay, it's getting a little out of hand, this situation here with the green enemy. Okay, this has 3 goals.
Once your opponents were proud and many, Commander. Now the pitiful that remain shiver and weep, for they know you approach. Another enemy has fallen. Before long you will be your father's sole remaining heir, and Rivellon will be yours.
I think he is bugged because he's repeating it every turn and I haven't won anything in quite a while.
Commander?
Come to have a chat, Commander. Just as well, for I've been meaning to have a word with the dragon myself. Remember when I told you about losing my arm and eye? How I lost it standing guard for your father, an emperor unworthy of his throne? Well, telling you got me thinking, as well as drinking. And here's the conclusions I've come to. I was different then, you see. And not just because I was more man and less machine. No. The day they hacked me up good, there was much more that I lost. In that arm lay stored loyalty and duty. In that eye, trust and friendship. Out the door, just like that. But lately, they've been clawing at it, wanting to come back in. We've got a fine bunch of generals here, Commander. And there's Edmund too, but let's not open that particular can of worms. No, it's the girls. Scarlet and Catherine. Guess I've never come closer to women without wanting to get in their pants. I respect them as officers, I really do. And I think that should history repeat itself, they would stand by me as we make our last stand. Not run like the mongrels that still stain my memories. If there's trust to be had, I think they've earned mine, Commander. as of you. The sins of your father need not be yours. You have my sword and my friendship too. There! Now you know. So enough of this sentimental elf talk and let's drink! To us! To the Raven! To victory!
Sup, Commander?
What would you inquire of me, Commander?
I'm just checking if anyone has anything new to say. I say I'm a little blocked, feeling a little blocked right now with the way the war has been going. Maybe I'll make an expedition to the south with some of my units here. Capture some of those isles. That should be enough. Anything? I will save my general just in case.
Once your opponent...
Yeah, he seems to be bugged. He's repeating himself every turn.
Commander, the undead have lost what brains they don't have in the first place, and taken to domesticating the fang bear. These creatures are about twice the size of regular bears, hunt in packs like wolves, and are extremely dangerous. Already, several of these pets have devoured passers-by in the streets, and not to mention the distress caused by the sickening odor left behind when they do their business. They are a menace in about a dozen ways, and I therefore vote that every last domesticated fang bear be put down.
Well, so that is basically the question of, can people be allowed to have a very dangerous pet?
So Prospero would have me put down Cuddles? Never. Fangbears are affectionate beasts and make for fantastic guardians. That they never harm an undead because we lack flesh on our bones was never even a consideration for our domestication program.
Oh, sure it wasn't. And that's an interesting question because, like, from a libertarian standpoint, you shouldn't ban this. You should just you know, punish the people once, and when the actual tragedy concerning a dangerous pet has taken place. But then again, at this point, it can be too late for the people involved. So it's an interesting.
Commander, while I appreciate safety concerns, these animals were domesticated and can never be released into the wilderness again. Capture and train no new ones, I agree with that. But to slaughter all those that were unwisely attempted to be trained? No. That would be horrible murder.
Yeah, that's another thing, like, if they really are domesticated, then why should we kill every last one of them and not only the ones that actually were an actual danger to actual people? Not as a hypothetical, but in reality, so.
Every time one of those giant toothed monstrosities draws near, I fear it's in the mood for a dwarfsicle. Listen to dear Prospero, Commander. Put 'em all down.
No, I don't think so. Like, it should be regulated, and it should be, you know, the responsibility of the owner, so that the pet doesn't harm anyone. But just to blankly kill them all is a little ridiculous to me.
The pox on that cold-hearted lizard, Commander. Fangbears are cute and hardly snack on imps anymore once properly trained.
Oh yes, that's the point
We
as
use
well.
them as mounts and organised races. Granted, it's not a good race unless 3/4 of the riders and their steeds never make it to the finish line, but that's all part of the experience.
Yeah, so I want to put down dangerous pets, which makes probably the first point in which me and the undead have agreed on anything.
You are a dragon, and I therefore understand your affinity for dangerous creatures, Commander. But you are putting oxen-sized foxes among the hens, expecting no harmed fowl. We shall see.
7 bless your merciful soul, Commander. I don't know what I'd do without my Cuddles. His blood-stained fur, his
Blood-stained
glimmering white teeth. He's a darling, that Fangbear.
Very good, Commander. I'm sure there are more sensible solutions than slaughter. Perhaps we could simply muzzle these fangbears. Maybe we could muzzle Prospero too while we're at it.
What is this damnable folly? I need fear for my very life each time I walk the streets because a bunch of skeletons adopt bloodthirsty colossi as pets. I'll never leave the Raven no more, Commander. You sure you want that on your conscience?
Wonderful. Charming. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to put a bet on a certain fangbear, wide as a castle gate, running in the 3 o'clock derby. He's a dead cert, Commander, and you can take that literally.
Okay, now what are my forces here? I think I need at least... Yeah, I don't think it's enough yet, I'll be honest. I'm not sure if I have enough mercenaries to successfully raid this place, but I think I'll try.
One sure.
Shut up.
Gods have mercy on Ophelia's soul, Commander, for I have not. Gone is her skeletal grace. Swept aside is the pure beauty of the bone. Even riddled with disease, her osseous presence was more inspiring than the meat-made one she now portrays. Accursed be thy coupling.
Shut up, you two. Oh, that's quite a body.
My world and stars. Approach. Approach and behold my beauty. See how the directions of desire took hold, and with wondrous words of wizardry were realized. A bride of bone no longer. I stand before you a lady, luscious and lovely, warm and welcoming, awaiting your caress. Icarus has left for his far-off home, laden with the gold of generations. Yet despite the rapture that riches should bring, tears stained his eyes as he looked upon his creation and realized he'd spent it all. And more, if it would have brought him a single kiss. No, I whispered. I belong to the dragon only. And what of my kin? Alas, they do not understand. Yorick brands me a traitor even, but I care not. In seeking salvation, how have I cheated the Seven? How have I deceived the gods? If that is truly how they feel, they are not worthy of my worship. Let the flame of divinity that sparks only when we are alone light the fire of our love. What need have we for gods or men? We, my life and death, we have each other.
Okay. But that's quite a happy ending. All things considered, we didn't have to...
Commander?
we didn't have to sacrifice anyone in a blood ritual or anything.
I'm the last to deny the change that has befallen Lady Ophelia is nothing short of miraculous, Commander. But by every ruby in the rocks, at what a price! Perhaps I too would have gone to such lengths would it remedy waking next to a living skeleton. But still, it makes my head swim more dizzily than 3 pints of liver-lasher lager.
Sup, Commander? What would you inquire of me, Commander?
Okay, I'm not sure, being honest, if I'll ever have enough to... Okay, that was unwise because this unit can take part in the battle, but maybe I'll be able to sway the tide of the battle with the mercenary guards. I think I'll build a factory here as well. Maybe demolish one of the... yeah, like this one. Okay, there's hardly enough population here. Probably wasn't the smartest idea. That maybe will be enough. Want to save the general for the other battle. Not this one. Ah, I didn't even need it.
Once you're a
Oh, shut up.
I hear Trinculo's daughter is about to be married. He's over the moon, which I quite understand. But isn't she, well, very, very young? Seems a bit odd to me. Girls her age should be playing with dolls, not husbands.
Oh man, is it going to bring up the issue of child marriage?
Smouldering muskets, Commander. So kind of you to come and congratulate me. My daughter's about to marry quite the catch. Richest imp in the borough and manufacturer of build-it-yourself home cannons. One lucky little lady.
If so, then it's quite a heavy subject.
I took a stroll in the sun today, my lord and love. Never could I have imagined the wonder that is to feel the light of life, find comfort on one's skin. Such dulcet delight, such subtle sensibility.
Naught but a skirmish we fought today, but the way you handled it was impressive.
Commander, a matter has arisen that impels me to seek your benevolence. Once more, a young girl is made to suffer at the hands of male overlords. It's these horrid arranged marriages.
Ah, right.
Long have they been a thorn in my side, and now one of your own counselors, that toad of a Trinculo, is giving away his daughter like she was a pretty piece of furniture to some decrepit old duke because the alliance will benefit him financially. The girl's 12, for 7's sake, and that grey goat she must marry 100 if he's a day. It's detestable. It's vile. But oh, why am I even talking to you? You're just the same. Picked the princess that sat on the biggest pot of gold and moved on. Well, I've had it. That girl stuck in your chamber is beyond saving, but Trinculo's daughter is not. Impede this wedding, Commander, right this instant.
Obviously, arranged marriages are bullshit in it of themselves, but if she's like, the problem here is I don't know at what age do the imps reach maturity, like I mean adulthood, but even if she were an adult, it's still despicable to force her into an arranged marriage. So obviously I will rectify this. I shall draft a law that says that women must themselves consent to marriage before nuptials are allowed.
Excellent. And add age restrictions as well. If parents try to coerce her, a 20-year-old can stand up to them better than a mere girl. Well done, Commander. Not bartered, but cherished let our women be.
Okay. I think I'll give the assault a try in the next turn, maybe. With all of those additional units and the mercenary cards as well, maybe I'll have enough. In the meantime, I should probably prepare my Asian fleet over here for later. So apparently the dwarves disliked the abolishment of arranged marriages, which I guess kind of makes sense because they are staunch traditionalists.
One should.
Not all elves may agree, but in my opinion you did a noble thing by outlawing arranged marriages. Well done, Commander.
I'd like to decapitate that Catherine witch and use her head for a cannonball. How dare she mingle with my affairs? You don't give daughters a choice. Of course, she won't marry that dear old Duke now. Oh, I could have mingled in the highest circles. Owned a castle in the Gordian Glades. Damn the witch. Damn her.
Commander, I want to denounce yet another example of typical dwarven overreaction. Locusts have been plaguing their crops, and so they have taken to blowing some kind of toxic, impish gas over their fields, which is effectively wiping out said locusts. I want you to make it law here today that it is forbidden to endanger a species even if it is causing a degree of harm. Agreed?
Well, I'm not so sure really, because I don't see any particular. If a species is directly harmful to the populace, as for example locust is, causing hunger and the like, I don't really see much reason to give it overall protection. Like, obviously to me it's more important that the people are fed than that locusts exist.
Locusts were created by the gods and can only be revoked by the gods. Allowing the dwarves to exterminate them is to destroy a part of divine creation and thus unacceptable.
Okay, his opinion's obviously bullshit as always.
Those damn locusts are a menace. You'd risk a famine for a bunch of vermin. No, you gas them well and proper.
Well, I think he's right on the point. Like, if you have to weigh the potential famine over the lives of locusts, I don't think it's that difficult of a decision after all.
I'm inclined to agree with Oberon, but if these particular locusts are really causing extensive damage, they need to be gotten rid of. It pains me to say it, but I wouldn't sign this law.
Yeah?
I'm in a bit of a pickle here, Commander. The dwarves are paying us handsomely for our toxic gas, but it was never meant to be used against locusts. Employed for peaceful purposes, rather, that is to say, war. No, it's probably for the best if you forbid it.
No, I won't outlaw the use of the detoxins to combat vermin.
Really, Commander? What's next? You'll kill every dog because one of them bit you? Shoot every bird because a pigeon pooped on your carriage? Overreaction is what I sought to remedy, but you have just institutionalized it.
That's a false equivalency.
If it is vile science you are using to upstage the Seven, vile science will see you fail. We'll preserve that locust in laboratories, Commander. We'll not let you mar divine creation.
Glad you don't agree with the elves and their schmaltzy claptrap. Those bloody locusts have devoured their last cauliflowers.
Very sensible of you, Commander. I would strictly regulate the use of toxic gas, though. Who knows what they'll be using it for next?
Humbug. Now we're just as responsible as the dwarves are, for they're paying us so well we couldn't possibly stop selling them our toxins.
That's a bit nonsensical. And I think he knows it in his heart of hearts.
Commander, I wouldn't dream of marrying off my daughters at the age of 12. But to abandon political marriages altogether, that will undermine a centuries-old way of achieving increased social stature. One you yourself made use of, I might add.
Yeah, that's right. I must admit that.
You fight with cunning, Commander, and you lead by example. Your example, of course, was I.
I feel positively liberated, Commander. That land you just conquered probably feels the same.
Bravo, Commander. Your new law regarding the requirement of girls' and women's consent to marry has caused a wave of enthusiasm among the populace. The romantic ruler is your latest sobriquet. Ironic, wouldn't you say? Ironic, yes. For of course you yourself haven't given up on your politically picked wife and went forth in pursuit of love.
Well, I wasn't
Such is
given
the way
a
of
choice.
emperors.
It was as
They
much.
preach, but hardly practice.
It was as much forced on me as on her, and I would say she benefited quite a lot from it. Not sure. It doesn't. Well, I think I will finally give a try to putting this land here. Maybe if I I'm not sure if it will be enough, but guess I'll see. Hardly enough. Problem, to be honest. Yeah, it's definitely a problem.
Once you're a pup.
I might have waited too long, and now the enemy is too strong. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a predicament here.
Once you're...
If you've been talking to Oberon, Commander, know he is grossly overacting, in my humble opinion. In a remote town, far away from proper civilization, perhaps it is true tensions between undead and elves could manifest in some sort of temporary violence, but mass killings? By the Seven, no. That I cannot believe.
Commander, I have formally accused the undead in the city of Harrow Ridge of genocide and brought the matter before the Council. The situation there is frightful. Fanatics among the undead, are there any other, have been purging the unclean. That is to say, the elven community. There have been patrols in the night, empty houses in the morning, and loose earth in ditches near the edges of the city. Scandalous! As is the negligence shown by General Edmund. He was given the task of regulating the town according to your laws. But of course, he's not lifted a finger to stop this secretive slaughter because of his well-known contempt for the elves.
Well, then I'll go talk to him.
What would you inquire of me, Commander?
Sup, Commander?
If there is one favor you can do for me, Commander, it's to invite Oberon up on one of the observation decks, give him a nudge, and let gravity prove elves can indeed not fly. Then at least he can pester me no more with his aggravating accusations of professional misconduct. He's been prattling on and on about some tiff between some of his sorry sort and a couple of undead as hot-headed as they are airheaded. He even talks of genocide, if you can believe it. Melodramatic little man, isn't he? All of this is supposed to be happening in some rural hamlet newly conquered. No more than a collection of pigsties and whorehouses, I imagine, and I bet you can hardly tell the difference. Yes, I was officially given the responsibility to oversee matters there, but some local undead officer said he'd do the job, and I was all the more glad for it.
Oh, and he doesn't seem to have any problem with undead officer overseeing an investigation of undead war crimes.
As you can see, Oberon missed the mark once more. I can hardly be charged for misconduct when I haven't even conducted anything, now can I, Commander?
Well, there is talk of murder, and you are the official responsible, so I very well expect you to investigate.
Hop to it! You have before you the greatest general in Rivellon, and you're ordering him to waste his time on a bunch of peasants that are having trouble playing nice. Very well, Commander. Perhaps later I can attend to more of this urgent business. I'm sure there's loads of kittens stuck in trees and toddlers in want of their teddies.
As if it was equivalent of genocide. Okay, I've researched all the technology I can for now. Okay, I will use the card that allows me to... One, 13, 9. Actually, I can use the other one as well. This should be more than enough to finally conquer the Green Capital once they arrive.
By the Seven, Commander, what has happened in the town of Harrow Ridge is truly abominable. Such crimes committed by my kingsmen. I can hardly believe it. Those elves, they must have staged unspeakable acts of sacrilege to madden them so. They must have... Why else would they? Heresy gross and foul.
The phrase too little, too late comes to mind, Commander. But it seems Edmund did his duty in the end. The nightmare of Harrow Ridge vanished come the dawn, and those responsible for the killings have themselves been rendered unto death. Justice is hereby done, and I am furthermore glad to say Edmund apologized for his earlier disbelief in my accusations towards the undead. I hope they too have learned a lesson. They've had a horrid example of what their own religious mania may lead to.
Your empire is growing with each passing day, Commander. But commerce is lagging behind. We should invest in new and broader trade routes so that our merchants can catch up with our armies.
Yeah, I see virtually no downside of this decision, apart from if I can afford it, but it's not a problem within the game, really. I'm making a lot of gold, but there is virtually no downside I can think of expanding the road network, because it really benefits everyone, even the common citizens. But I think what's his name, Oberon, will be against, because he'll be saying something about, destroying the forests to make the road or whatever.
Our new lands are in need of preachers, Commander, and preachers need paths to get there. Let us therefore build new roads so as to spread the word of the gods.
Trade routes such as they spring from dwarven fantasy will cut through forests,
That's what
dissect rivers, and destroy habitats, Commander. I'll have none of it.
That's what I expected.
The state of many thoroughfares is lamentable indeed. Proper roads flanked by guard posts and inns will increase the security and comfort of travelers and, yes, have a positive effect on our economy.
Falstaff is right. Ever tried to cross a swamp with a cannon wagon? Took 50 imps to pull Big Bertha out of the mud.
No, Big Bertha is actually a reference to actual giant German cannon constructed during World War II, I believe. Although, I don't think, like, it was also a feminine name and it was Big something, but I don't think it was Big Bertha. Maybe it was. So yes, I will allow construction of a network of new roads.
Wonderful! I'll see to it construction works start before the sun has set. And the grandest road of all we'll call Via Draconis, in your honor.
Praise be, for these roads will be a tribute to the Seven. I will order my fellow undead to build a chapel at every 7th milestone.
Hey, that's a colossal waste of public money, but whatever.
To scar the Green Mother's skin with yet more streaks of cold stone is unconscionable, Commander. Every bird and beast will bedam your name.
Is bedam even a word? Not
Perfect.
Sure.
But let's have lizards man the guard posts and dwarves run the inns. Having it the other way around would see us drunken sentinels and all too stern barkeeps.
Good. I can picture it now. 100 miles of dynamite and boom! Instant Holloway. Engineering at its best.
Looks like Edmund's impenetrable contempt for all that is non-lizard was pierced, Commander, be it ever so slightly. Had a kind word to say about some elves out in the country. Why he'd do that for the life of me, I can't imagine.
What would you inquire of me, Commander?
Harrow Ridge. A harrowing place if ever there was one, Commander. When Oberon first spoke of its supposed horrors, I dismissed them as the ravings of yet another counselor shouting for attention. But it was all damnably true. The undead, they were slaughtering each and every elf they could get their bony, sordid claws on. In the name of the Seven. Lunatics, the lot of them.
Yeah, that's what religious fanaticism will do to you.
But no skeleton stirs there anymore. They tasted their own medicine by my very blade. The law of the land I set in place and left a kindly old elven landowner as mayor. They'll rebuild their houses lost to zealots' torches, and forget as best as they might the Knights of Blood. To think the idea of a few dead elves made me chuckle as I travelled there. Quite another thing to see 'em lying in the ditches, row on row, gored and mangled. Yet no sooner had my troops restored order than their survivor spirits soared once more, and they swore to reshape their stricken little society. I'll think kindlier of elves in future, Commander. They're a stout lot over there in Harrow Ridge. Good luck to them.
Well, I'll save. And end the episode here. So, see you in the next one. Bye.